Well, we are back for episode 6 of Ahsoka. We are back for more of what's been called peak Star Wars. It isn't the likes of The Empire Strikes Back. That's a load of old horse shit. What in fact we have is Dave Filoni's masterpiece, being the genius that he is. What he decided to do in the previous episode, he didn't have the ability to write a good script, so instead he dangled Hayden Christensen on screen. He changed as Vader, and he had a red lightsaber, and there was live-action Clone Wars, but nothing of any substance or consequence, so really didn't amount to anything, yet was praised to the high heavens as being peak Star Wars. Very, very interesting. But on the previous episode, we left off when Ahsoka began to speak to the space whales, and then hopped in its mouth, and then went to a distant galaxy. Because that is what we're doing. We just Ahsoka has the ability to speak to a space whale, and the space whale says, "Yes, Ahsoka, hop in my mouth, and I will give you a lift over to that planet in that other galaxy." That was the way it worked. It was a lot of old shite. That's all it was, and that is where we're picking it up from where we left off. So as you can see, they're going through hyperspace at a high speed, and we have Ahsoka and Ha-Young in the cockpit of their ship. I don't know why their ship hasn't just went the fuck back there, considering they're not going at hyperspace. The whale is, but I guess we're not think about that too much. I mean, you think about this show and you realise what utter horseshit it is. So they're sitting in the cockpit. So this is all we get out of Ahsoka for the entire episode, which, to be honest, if I had to choose between Ahsoka and Sabine, I'm going to have to go with Ahsoka, because Sabine is, let it not be forgotten, a piece of shit. That is what Sabine is. She is not going to face any consequences for her actions and endangering an entire galaxy by allowing Thrawn to escape his exile. But that's going to be swept under the rug by the time we reach the end of this season. That'll be forgotten. I won't forget it, but that's what her actions have been, so don't forget that. So we have Ahsoka. She's talking about stuff like, I didn't tell Hera that Sabine went with the bad guys willingly. She says Sabine could have ended this. It's like, no, I don't know why you put any trust in Sabine in the first place. She is an idiot. She lost the star map in the first place. She almost knocked down a hospital when she was fucking about with that droid head. She is probably not the person you want to count on. That should have been obvious from the very start. Again, she's just very, very selfish and self-serving. That is what Sabine's character is. That is what we've seen throughout this series. Everything's about her and about what she wants, not thinking about the big picture. Even though it's like obvious she should be thinking about the big picture, considering her friend made a self-sacrifice. It's like she should be able to see that for what it is and go, yeah, maybe what we shouldn't try and get Ezra back. Maybe we should just leave it because it is too big of a risk to allow Thrawn to come back to this galaxy. But none of that happened because she is an imbecile. That's what she is. So Ahsoka is kind of coping, saying, oh, she was just fated to make that choice. No, not really. She says there wasn't enough time to prepare Sabine to make the right choice. I don't know what preparation you needed. She should already be able to make the right choice based on what her friend did. There should already be a little life lesson in what happened to Ezra Bridger. There should already be something there. But there isn't. Just vacuous, empty heads. That's the kind of characters we're dealing with. So, of course, we always, for some reason, have, whenever like the likes of Ahsoka is criticizing Sabine rightly, we have to have someone in the background defending her. You have Ha-Young saying, oh, well, perhaps for Sabine, that was the only choice. Well, no, it wasn't. She had a multitude of choices. She chose the wrong one and endangered the entire galaxy. That's what her choice has done. The thing that Hyung seems to be getting at is Ahsoka fears that Sabine makes her own choices. It's like, yeah, but what's that got to do with she made the wrong choice? That's obvious. I don't know why it matters that she made it on her own. She still made the choice. So that's the kind of stuff we're dealing with from the get-go, but this is pretty much all we get out of Ahsoka. For the rest of the episode, she just tells Hyung, oh, tell me about the story to do with the space whales. And then he begins his story. He says the thing. He says, in a galaxy far, far away. So I imagine people were cooming over that, as you would expect. He said the line. He said the line that you see at the start of every Star Wars film. He said the line. 10 out of 10 episode. And that is where we leave them. We're now stuck with Sabine for the whole episode, and someone who isn't intimidating in the slightest. The Blue Man Group. That's what we've got going on this episode. So she's being kept in a cell at the moment. You know, Balin's like to her, I thought you would use this time for some self-reflection. She's like, nah, I don't do any of that. I'm perfect. You know, that was her attitude to that. Okay, again, you're still not doing her any favours. You're still not making her likeable. She is the biggest asshole in the show. I'm more on the side of the Empire than I am with Ahsoka and Sabine. So they go up to the ship. We find out some things. We get a bit of exposition on this stuff. You soon start to realise that the stuff to do with the star map was fucking irrelevant, because they already knew that this planet was here. As Balin mentions, oh yeah, it was in the Jedi archives about this planet. This is the home planet of the Dathomiri fucking witches. So why did you need the star map then? So surely if it's in the archives, you must be able to know where to go. No, they could have just followed the space whales. Even Balin is aware that, oh yeah, the space whales travel there. So it's like, why the fuck didn't you follow them then? Why did you waste time with, nah, we need a star map first. I don't know why you've got this big cock ring. You know, it would make more sense if they just grabbed a space whale, attached it into the middle section of this cock ring, and that would make more sense than, oh no, we've got to run about for this star map, even though we know exactly where to go, because that's where the space whales go. So that's all irrelevant. Going after the star map is irrelevant based on the fact that Ahsoka just jumped in the mouth of a space whale and it's taken her there. It's like, oh right, you didn't need to go after that star map then, really, did you? So that made the entire 4 episodes, the first 4 episodes, pointless. Great job, Filoni. You're definitely a genius. You're most definitely not just a clown. You're a genius, according to some people. That just throw the word genius about like it means nothing. So yeah, we even get confirmation that yes, her ancestors rode the space whales. What the fuck are you talking about? You know, I hope it's at least in their mouth, because if you actually mean they hopped on the back of a space whale, then that doesn't make any sense. Because if they entered hyperspace, they would instantly fucking die. And they're in the vacuum of space. So that doesn't make any sense. Don't be true. But based on what she said, it seems like that. So this is the planet of Peridea or something like that. It was in... They knew about it all along, yet they needed a star map to get there. They needed the star map, you see. They couldn't just follow some space whales or let a space whale take them there. They needed the star map. They needed the star map to know where the planet starts, even though the witch is something to do with Dathomir. I don't know why she doesn't already have that information anyway. Just every aspect of this show, it falls apart. So they make it down there. They're told, right, we're being signaled down. There's a beacon. We're being signaled down. So they fly into this planet. They go and land. And then we have 3 witches who said, oh, you got here because we told you in your dream or something. It's just a load of magic shit that doesn't really go into anything. Don't know exactly how their magic works. It's just, oh, we told you to come here in a dream, that he's here. That Thrawn is here. He told us that you would be here, because now Thrawn is a sidekick. They're just told, oh, well, Thrawn's coming. He's on his way now. He's just coming. He arrives in a massive destroyer, whatever. And it's like, right, so you didn't even attempt to just fly back to the galaxy. Why is there no space whales over here when this is their migration path? You just stayed here waiting and hoping that, Morgan Elsbeth, she'll come one day. Okay, you got a ship. You know, most people would go, yeah, well, you would at least attempt to fly back, wouldn't you? I mean, you must be able to... All you need is some extra hyperdrives. That's it. I would think you'd be able to make one, maybe? No, we can't do that either. We just have to stand and wait and hope that something happens. So that is when we're left with these two. Again, they're not committed to anything with Balin. You know, he's the only guy that gives a performance, the only guy that is interesting, yet it's all still just remaining a mystery. Are we ever going to get that explained? Or are we just continuing on the trend of Jar Jar Abrams mystery boxes? Just hoping that, oh, well, they're explaining something. It hasn't happened yet. He's already going back on what it seemed like, what it was he wanted. You know, he's told... what does he say? He's just like, you know, it's all inevitable. The Jedi rise and... Well, the Jedi fall and the Empire rise... And the cycle just continues, and I'm here to end that cycle. I thought you were after power. You know, that's what we were told. It's, oh, we're going to get the most ultimate power ever. Now you're just like, no, I want to end it all, actually. Right, okay. Again, still not sure where they're going with this. But whatever. So then Thrawn eventually... Well, she tries to use the Force again. She doesn't have Force abilities, so don't even bother. Where are you going to go? I don't know why you're even trying to escape. So that's when the big Star Destroyer arrives. So that is the ship that Thrawn's got. Never thought to try and leave. I mean, what else you got to lose? I don't know. You'd think you'd at least try. So then they arrive. We get, I don't know, some gladiator rip-off, whatever. And then they're all chanting, Thrawn, Thrawn. Why are you doing that? It's very strange that you're doing that, chanting Thrawn. And then we get the reveal of Thrawn. It's like, oh, there's nothing intimidating about this guy. It's just the blue Elon Musk. That's all this guy comes across as. There's nothing scary about him. There's nothing like, yeah, this guy means business. It's like, no, I could probably yell at him and he'd cry in a corner. That's how Thrawn comes across. Which, I mean, he is just a guy after all. I don't really know why they're acting as if he's like Thanos. But that's how Ahsoka acts. It's like, it's just some guy. It's just some guy that's apparently smart. That's all he is. Nothing intimidating about him. So he thanks the old crones. He's told about, they also brought a Jedi, Sabine. Well, she's not a Jedi, but they also brought Sabine. Because Balin said that she could be of much use to her. Thrawn agrees because he recognises the name or something. He's seen her before. So they're going to make use of her in some way. He's told about the deal. Yeah, we don't get much else here. It's just an unintimidating guy that's painted in blue. That's about it. So we get a conversation between those two. He's like, I remember your face. It's you that I have to thank for my escape out of my exile. It's like, you haven't escaped yet. It's probably going to go tits up anyway, because this show is so predictable. I mean, we've already got something where, oh, it's going to take us 3 days to be able to leave. All right, that's good then, isn't it? Because apparently we have to move stuff off and onto ships or, you know, some shit like that. So they're obviously going to be stopped. I don't know if they're going to go the route of Thrawn actually makes it back, but if he does, remember that it's Sabine's fault. That's whose fault it is, and she's got a lot to make up for that. That's never going to happen. So he's just like, well, he's gonna let her go because she asks about where's Ezra. He's like, oh well, we'd let you go. We'll tell you his recent whereabouts, even though they don't even know his whereabouts. They just, oh, he might be dead. So that, you know, they kind of contradict themselves with that. Yeah, we'll tell you his recent whereabouts. Just know that I'll be leaving without you. You'll be stranded here. So yeah, stuck in the same position as Ezra already was. And your friend may be dead. It's like, well, how do you know about his recent whereabouts if he might be dead? I don't know. So they're gonna give her what she needs to go out and search for them. So she goes off. They're also gonna send Balin after her to follow her. And when she finds Ezra, because for some reason we can't understand that this is an entire planet. Ezra could be anywhere on this planet. It's a planet. I don't know how you even expect to find Ezra. But of course we're dealing with Disney Star Wars, where we just stumble over things within 20 minutes of travel. So he's like, right, you follow her. When she finds Ezra, kill them both. He then later says to Morgan Elsbeth, just leave them behind, fuck them. Even though I don't know for what reason he ordered them to go and kill Sabine, when he even says it doesn't matter if they're dead or not, because they're gonna wait. What's the point in even sending them if you're gonna leave them stranded anyway? There's nothing they can do. They're two people. They are not gonna get in the way of you leaving here. They are two people against you that somehow has all these mouths to feed. You got loads of troopers. I don't know how long you've been here. None of that is even thought about. He's just fine. All his men are fed. He's got hundreds of them. So she goes off. She gets attacked straight away because we're now ripping off sand people. Filoni likes to do that, just steal ideas. Where we get these red sand people, and they make weird noises like that as well. They have guns. Sabine eventually brings out the lightsaber, and then the people with guns run at the person with the lightsaber rather than standing at a distance and using a gun for what it was made for. Shooting at a distance, not walking up to the person that is obviously going to cut you into pieces. You have a ranged weapon. So there is no point running at them, but that is a continuous thing throughout of Disney Star Wars' action. We're going to have people with guns. They're not going to use guns properly, though. They're going to run at the person that has a fucking sword. So it's the usual shit. So she gets attacked. She, of course, beats them. We jump back here. He's told that, right, Balin and that are left, and then that's when Thrawn's like, yeah, fuck them too, we're going to leave them here. Right, okay, I don't know why you sent them off. Were you worried about them crossing you, something like that? It doesn't seem like it. You're just like, fuck them too. It's like, why do you send them out? You know, he sends 2 squadrons out to go to where Balin and that is. He's like, I'm not sending any more men, because our men are already dwindling. So it's just like, why even send any squadron if you're just going to leave them anywhere? Why risk also losing other people? I don't know. I thought this guy was supposed to be smart. He's doing a load of stuff that even he knows that he doesn't have to do, but he's doing it anyway. So then Sabine gets into an argument with an animal, because why not? And then she eventually goes, right, I'll give you one more chance. And then instantly the wolf thingy, whatever it is, gets a scent straight away. And that leads us directly to fucking Ezra, because of course it does. Walking about a planet for about 20 minutes, and already it's like, now we found him now. That was easy. And it's like, I don't understand, if it's that easy to find Ezra, why did Thrawn, having all this time that he's had, not track him down and kill him? I don't know. It seems like they have been looking for him anyway, and it's like, if Sabine can find them, it should be very easy for you. But no. We have to pretend like, no, it was really hard to find him because we're on a planet, yet Sabine just stumbles across him. As you do, on a planet. You just stumble across in a remember, in a planet where basically nobody lives. She comes across one man. Very easily, we then get an Ewok ripoff. So she comes down here, the fucking donkey thing sniffs at a stone, and then it turns out, oh, this rock is alive. It's some rock people, and they're like dressed in little clothes and all that. Okay, I don't know why. And they happen to know exactly where Ezra is, because of course they do. The first sign of life you come across knows exactly who you're looking for and knows where they are. Fucking lot of contrived shite. So Sabine starts talking to it. She somehow understands it, even though it should be a new language to her, so I don't know how you understand it. And they're like, and then loads of them rise up, and it's like, oh, you're doing the Ewoks. That's what you're going for. Little turtle people that are in clothes for some reason. Okay. And they're like, yeah, we know Ezra Bridger. Come with us. So that was very lucky. We then get another scene with these two. Balon's like, when being asked by Shin, do you miss the Jedi Order? He's like, I miss the idea of it. But not the truth of it, the weakness of it. I don't think. What else does he really say? Let me just see. She asks about, did you know Ezra? And he's like, nah, Ezra's too young. He was trained in the wild or some shit. And she's like, oh, is that what you trained me to be? And he says, no, I trained you to be more than that. I trained you not to be a Jedi, but more than that. He starts going, oh, there's something on the wind. There's some power here that Thrawn is going to miss. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Just whatever he's after, again, we still don't know. So then we go to this camp, and oh, what do you know? There's Ezra right there. That was very easy. He's just standing there. All she done was walked for about 30 minutes. And rode a beast for about 10, happened across some turtles that happened to know where Ezra was. Within that time frame, right? Okay. I mean, realistically, it's a very hard thing to even find him on a planet as big as this, with land, a land mass as big as it. Why would he be so close to where Thrawn is? You would think he would travel very far away. Very far away, but she's just came across him. So, of course, because we're dealing with Sabine, which she's not a very good actress, or Dave Filoni is telling her to not act good, I don't know. But you would think a reunion like this, Sabine would be crying, things of that nature, but it comes across like, oh no, she lost him in the woods for about 5 minutes. That's about the peak that the acting hits. Nothing comes across like, I haven't seen you for many, many years, my friend. I'm so happy to see you. No, it's just, oh, I must have lost you for 5 minutes. By the way, she doesn't mention the fact that, Thrawn's going to leave. She doesn't mention the fact, oh, you know that sacrifice you done, Ezra. I'm going to undo it. That's what I'm going to do. She doesn't think to mention that. She lets that slide. Telling you, piece of shit. So he's just like, what took you so long and all that. I don't know why he assumed they were coming for him. He then has questions like, oh, how did you get here? And she's like, oh, I don't want to talk about that right now. Just let me be happy that I've finally found you. It's like, no, Thrawn's going to escape. You maybe want to tell him. You maybe want to tell him about this, but it's obvious he's going to be very angry at what you've done. Although I'm half expecting he'll forgive her, even though she undid the sacrifice he made. That is what she's done. Yet people are going to say, no, great character. She's a very good person. It's a piece of shit. That is who we're dealing with. But yeah, she's just like, oh, don't ask any questions, even though Thrawn's about to fucking leave and destroy the galaxy. Even though the reason why you made sure You followed him in his exile was to make sure he couldn't harm the galaxy, and now she's came in, she's gave him his opportunity to escape. He's going to get to the other galaxy, and he's going to do what you tried to prevent him from doing, and she is not going to mention it at all. Not going to mention it at all. So it's all fine, guys. She says, nah, it's all fine. It's all fine. You ain't got to ask questions. So they then help these turtles pack up because they don't stay in a place for very long. I mean, again, they don't stay in a place. It's very lucky you came along when you did, because if it was, well, they're packing up right now. So if it was an hour later, you would have never came across Ezra. They would have fucked off somewhere else. So all these things that could go wrong didn't, because we needed to find Ezra. That's just what we need. So yeah, they realize, like, the witches say, "Oh, another Jedi's coming." The witches know that for some reason. Again, none of this magic. They just have magic. Whatever the plot needs, whatever the series needs, they'll just know anyway. So they're like, "Ahsoka's coming," and he's like, "Right, you promised me that Ahsoka was dead." Because she fell off. Well, she should be dead anyway, because she was sitting underwater for about half a day. So probably should be dead. But she's not. Because people don't die anymore. They have magnitudes of plot armor. So he's like, right, I'm going to need to know everything about this Ahsoka. Who trained her, her history, just everything. I don't know what purpose that's going to serve, rather than just killing her. I especially don't know what purpose it's going to serve when you tell Morgan, when that space whale appears, blow it out the fucking sky. It's like, well, you don't need her history at that point then, because you killed her. So he's not very smart. He's not very smart, not very intimidating. I mean, what I should be sensing from this guy is fear. I should be like, fucking hell, who is this guy? That should be my reaction to him. It's not. It is more like, oh, it's a guy painted in blue. That's funny. That's kind of my thoughts on him. There's just nothing there in terms of an intimidating, even the voice is just like, what? I don't know what I'm supposed to be getting from you. When it's like based on pictures I've seen of Thrawn, that guy looks fucking intimidating. This guy doesn't. It's just like, oh, is he building Teslas? Is that what he's doing? Is he running what is now called X? Is that what he's doing? But I should be scared of him. There's just none of that. And that gets us through another episode. Another episode of just a long list. Just contrivances everywhere. Sabine just instantly coming across a friend on a planet in the middle of nowhere. She happens across some turtles that happen to know him. That quickly. Fucking hell. Just a lot of shit when it's like, well, you could have just started off. You could have got us in this position by about episode 3 or 4. Maybe they get to this planet in episode 4. And then we get 2 episodes where she's going around searching for him. That would be more believable, not she just stumbles across him on a planet. But that is what they opted for, because they wasted so much time with this season. So much time, so much money when you didn't have to.